knowledge is the byproduct of the deep curiosity and the subsequent questionings which are inherent to the human nature. Just imagine a world where there were no hows and whys. We may still perhaps have been living in caves. Aiming to provide answers to some of these questions in our minds, we welcome you once again to Quest, the inter-school science quiz, which has been brought to you by the National Council of Science Museums and Doordarshan Kendra, Kolkata. Before we begin, let's give a very warm welcome to Mr. G.S. Rautela, who's the director of Nehru Science Centre, Mumbai. I believe you are rested well, sir.
Oh, yes.
Have a lot of new interesting questions for us today?
Well, I've been doing experiments in the night.
Experiments in the night?
Yes, to bring them to these young kids this morning.
Well, let's hope they have the right answers to your questions. Let me introduce the teams to you. On my right is the J.C. Bose team. And they are the boys from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William. And you are?
I'm Rohan Chatterjee and I'm in class 12.
I am Abhishek Basu of class 12 science section.
I am Ajit Ray of class 12 science section.
That's it. Welcome to our show and happy quizzing to you. On my left we have the C.V. Raman team, which is Better High School. And you are?
Abhishek Guho, I'm in class 12 science section.
I am Shubhrata Banerjee and I am in class 12.
I am Shubhadeep Bose, class 12 science section.
The rules of today's contest are fairly simple. We have 7 questions in all. The first 4 are direct questions. That's both teams will face 2 direct questions each. You have 15 seconds to answer your direct questions. If you do not answer, then at the end of those 15 seconds, that same question will pass on to the other team, who must have an answer ready at that point in time. If they do not want to answer, audience will come into you guys here, all right? So at the time when we come into you, just raise your hands and we'll select who should answer those questions. The last 3 questions will be on the buzzer. The scoring is as follows. In the direct questions, 20 points for direct answers, 10 on passes. In the buzzer rounds, remember when you hit that buzzer, you must have an answer ready with you, irrespective of whether or not the question has been asked to you. It's plus 20 and minus 10. Minus 10, that's if you get it wrong. In which event we'll go back into the audience. All right? Yes. All teams? Right. Happy quizzing. The first question will now go to the J.C. Bose team. Mr. Rautela. Right, J.C. Bose team. Here comes your question.
Here you see here there is a metal rod and a thread is wrapped around it. When I burn it, this thread doesn't get burned. The question to you is why the thread is not burning?
Yeah. Actually, metal, as sir told, it is a metal rod. So metals are good conductor of heat. So as sir is burning the thread, means heating the rod, the heat that is passed through the metal. So the amount of heat required to burn the thread is not collected. That is why it is not getting burnt.
You are absolutely right. So, we would like to give you 20 points. Now, I would like to add that the heat which is given to this thread is taken away by the rod, as you said, this metal, and that doesn't allow the thread to reach its ignition point, all right, and it doesn't burn. That would have been, that's the correct answer, all right.
Well done, Abhishek. You pick up 20 points for your team. The next question will be for the C.V. Raman team.
Okay. The question is, there are 2 rice grains which are puffed and they are at a distance from each other. If I comb my hair and bring the comb in between these 2 rice puffs, they are attracted. okay, and when I take it away, they are up again away from each other. Now again second time when I go, they are repelled. Can you tell why does it happen so?
Sir, it is due to the inductive effect, then the static electricity that is that the comb is actually obtaining from the hair,
Yeah.
and is actually attracting the grain or whatever it is out there,
Rice grains. Right.
rice grains, and when the electricity and when the comb is removed, then that is actually in a charged state, and so when the comb loses its electricity in the meanwhile, and when it is brought again, so that is why it doesn't attract.
No, why? At the first time it was attracted towards the comb, the second time they went away.
The second time the comb did not have any charge.
So why should they go away?
They are repelling each other. They are obtaining the same
Right,
charge.
that was the
charge
correct
and
answer. So they get 20 points for that. Once they were attracted, the comb and the rice grains, the puffed rice grains had the same charge. But second time when the comb came there, because having same charge, they started repelling each other. That was the correct answer. So get 20 points.
Well done, Better High Schools. That's the C.V. Raman team. Both teams now tied at the same score, that's 20 points each. The next question will be for the J.C. Bose team.
Your question is, I have a compact disc CD on my hand, okay, and you see colors on this, right? The question is, why do you see colors on a CD?
So in this CD, so as the light is falling, at various region the light of a particular wavelength is reflected and the other lights are absorbed at various regions. So
Why?
Irregularity in the surface.
Well, I think that's not the correct answer. The team, this pass on to next team.
Are you trying?
Yes.
Hurry up then.
Sir, the incident ray is actually breaking up into a vapor,
Yeah.
and then from the background surface it is getting reflected, and that's why we are getting, and it is falling on us, and we are getting different colors as their separated rays, separated wavelengths of different colors. That's why
They get separated, but how? What is the phenomenon?
refraction.
Refraction.
No. Would anybody try from the audience?
Why don't you come up? Yes. What's your name?
Hi, my name is 𝐃𝐞𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚 I'm from Better High School.
Yes. Why don't you come here? Yes. Tell us about it.
Actually, in this case, if we take an example of prism where dispersion is taking place, the light which is falling on the CD is a white light, and it is a mixture of various colors. So depending on the wavelength, various lights of various colors are being reflected. So the phenomenon which sir wants to know is the dispersion.
No, it's not dispersion. Would anybody else like to try?
You can go back. Anybody else? Mr. Rotella, I guess you'll have to do the honors here.
Well, yeah. Well, for recording purpose, that whatever is recorded on CDs, there are groups made on this material, and the groups help it to diffract. This is a diffraction pattern. So diffraction also can separate colors from white light. So that's exactly what is happening here. So it's a diffraction pattern which gives you 7 colors of the white light from this. All right?
Well, I guess that's the quiz master's question. Big hand from Mr. Rotella. Scores reading 20 points apiece. The next question is for the C.V. Raman team.
Well, the question is rather simple. I have a piece of paper. I tear this paper slowly. You hear a sound. The second time, I tear this paper rapidly. Now, you heard the sound is little different this time. The question to you is, what makes the sound to differ from one case to another? Once again for you. Second chime again.
So it is dependent on the time the tearing action is taking, and it is out here the friction is actually causing the sound, and when I am actually doing tearing the piece of paper quickly, then the frictional force is acting for a very short period of time, and so the impact of the sound is more. And when I am tearing it slowly, the sound is actually spreading for a longer time, and that is the difference.
No, that's not quite correct. Would you like to try? Team 2, Jesse Bo's team?
I'm not sure. Actually, as far as I think, there is a cohesive force between the molecules of this paper.
Yeah.
And when you are tearing it rapidly, then you are also applying a force to overcome that force. So, as you are applying the force slowly, the energy produced, means the energy produced that is less. So, the amount of energy converted into sound energy, that is also less.
But why the sound differs? There's the frequency of sound, which I mean to say.
So, it is dependent on the time. The frequency of sound is dependent on time. So, when you are doing the act very rapidly,
well, I am looking for very accurate answer. Would anybody try to in audience, please?
So, it varies with 1 by root over of time period. So, sir, when you are inversely, so the frequency of time, so it is inversely proportional to the time period. So, sir, when you are, so when the time period is less.
What makes the sounds? What makes the sound?
So
I think we should go
Abhishek,
to
I don't think you have the right answer. Do we have any takers in the audience? Anyone? Quickly, Mr. Rotella.
Well, I think, well, you're right that time was okay. Time is one of the factors. But let's go back to the construction of paper. Paper is cellulose fiber. So in one case, when I am tearing slowly, I am breaking those cellulose fibers slowly. So the vibration caused by breaking of those fibers is at lower frequency. But when I am doing it rapidly, I am breaking those cellulose fibers much faster. As a result, the vibration in the air is much faster and the frequency is higher in that case. That's the correct answer.
Scores remain exactly where they were, 20 points to each team. The next question is on the buzzer. Remember, teams, 20 points if you get the right answer, minus 10 if you get it wrong. When Mr. Rotella asks you the question, you're free to go for the buzzer, or you can even go for the buzzer before he asks you the question, in which case you must have that answer ready with you. I hope I'm clear on that. Mr. Rotella.
Well, next question I would like you to do with me. You blow on back of your palm, keeping the mouth open very little, the gap between the lips is very little, and see the temperature. You feel the temperature. Now in second case, open your mouth quite wide. Do you feel a difference of temperature? Why does it happen? When same carbon dioxide and water vapor is coming out from lungs at body temperature, why do you see a difference?
Pressure is inversely proportional to temperature. Sorry, directly proportional to temperature. And in this case, when the mouth is made small hole, the pressure is actually more. And so the temperature is getting colder.
Well, how?
The directly proportional to temperature.
No.
No, not to the other team. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. Shubha Brotho, you get minus 10 there.
Anybody in audience would like
Audience, yes, why don't you come up? Please come here. What's your name?
My name is Arindam Das.
Arindam Das, why don't you come behind here, Arindam?
I think this is due to the concentration that when our mouths are, the hole in the mouth is small, the air which is we are blowing on the hand is just concentrated at a point. Thus, as there the temperature reduces, and where our mouths are wide, then it covers a large area, and as it is thus it increases the temperature.
No.
No, I'm afraid that's not the answer we're looking for. Anyone else? Yes, one quick one. Come. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Pooja Datta from Better High School.
Yes, Pooja.
Well, when we are blowing on the back of a pump with our lips very opening is very small, actually the air inside or the carbon dioxide inside of our mouth is at a higher pressure than the surrounding. And when we blow out, it is coming from high pressure to low pressure suddenly, and so the temperature reduces. But when the mouth is wide open, then the pressure is more or less same out and inside our mouth. So when we blow, the carbon dioxide has a higher temperature than the outside air, so it feels a bit hot.
I'm afraid I won't be able to say this is accurate, but in science we look for accurate answers.
Yes, Mr. Bhatt.
So I would like to tell you what exactly is happening. When the opening is narrow, I'm forcing the carbon dioxide and water vapor through a narrow opening. And when it comes outside, it suddenly expands. Anything which suddenly expands, it's called adiabatic expansion, and temperature falls down. And in other case, there is no expansion taking place. So as simple as that. This is the principle refrigerators use.
Mr. Rotela, I'm finding you are answering most of the questions yourselves.
Well, I think they will learn it.
Yes, all right.
Thank you. Too young.
Yes, that's a very interesting concept there. So I'm afraid Better High School, we needed a better answer from you. You moved down to 10 points, and the JC Bose team, that's on our right, the boys from Kendriya Vidyalaya, Fort William, remained where they were by judiciously not going for the buzzer. They remain on 20 points. We'll be back very shortly with the next question. Before we go on to the next question, the scores: 20 points to JC Bose, 10 to CV Raman team. Next question.
The question is, I have a copper sheet cut into a Christmas tree. I'm putting this one in silver nitrate solution. See what happens. This becomes silverish, okay? Now the question is, why does it become silverish after putting a silver nitrate? Yes.
Actually, this is an example of displacement reaction.
Yeah.
Copper is more reactive.
In higher in the reactive series than silver.
Silver, so it is displacing the silver
from the
solution.
NO3 solution.
Can you tell me exactly in terms of chemical term, what is it called, process?
So displacement reaction. It is displacement
It's a
reaction.
reduction or oxidation?
Sir?
It reduces silver?
So it reduces silver
Yes,
and
sir.
oxidizes it.
So silver is reduced from copper nitrate, silver nitrate, and it deposits on the copper sheet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As a result, this tree becomes silverish. See how it's a real Christmas tree of the, as if snow is on the top of it. So this you get 20 points for the correct answer.
Mr. Rotela, is this one of the principles used in electroplating by any chance?
Yes,
it is.
yes, exactly.
Could you tell us more about it?
Well, electroplating is coating of one metal on another, or for example, on iron you can give coating of chromium to make it shining. So this is exactly what is happening. They get deposited on the surface, and that's what for protecting metals we do this.
And this is better than painting the metal?
Yes, and long lasting.
Is it reversible?
No, it's not reversible. You can scratch it up.
Okay, you can scratch it. All right, fine. Well, good answer there, both of you. That's Abhishek and Ojit. You pick up 20 points for your team and you move on to 40 points. CV Raman team did not attempt an answer. They remain on 10 points. Next question is also on the buzzer. We are to the very last question of today's quiz. Let's see what happens here.
Well, the question is, I have a flash gun and a metal sheet. When I flash this, you get light. When I hold this metal very close to the flash gun, I would request Gaurav to hold the mic to make them hear what happens.
Yep.
In between. Are you able to hear some sound? Tell me, why do you hear a sound when the metal sheet is held in front of the flash gun?
Yes, JC Bose team.
Because the light waves are traveling, and if a metal sheet that is kept very close to the light waves, it strikes the light waves, and some amount of energy is converted to sound energy. That's why
Tell
the
me
sound
what
is
nature of
correct.
light it supports.
Sir?
What nature of light this experiment proves?
So it's a particle nature.
Very correct. They get
Very good
point.
answer.
They were right that when I strike this with this flash, their photons are particles. When they hit it, they produce sound because very concentrated light. So that's why they are able to produce sound, and that proves the particle nature of light.
Well done, Abhishek. You pick up 20 points for your team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
And with that, we come to the end of today's episode of Quest. Before we finish, the final scores. JC Bose team has got a total of 60 points. Let's give them a big round of applause. A small memento from Quest. Rohan, Abhishek,
Thank you, sir.
Ajit. Thank you. Better High School, that's the C.G. Raman team. Better luck next time. There you go, Abhishek, Shubhabrata and Shubhadeep. Thanks for being on our show. We hope you've enjoyed watching our show. Please write back to us with your comments. Our address is Quest, care of Doordarshan Kendra Kolkata, 18/3, Uday Shankar Sarani, Golf Green, Kolkata 95. We'll see you again next week with 2 new schools. Till then, it's goodbye.